Hi, I'm Korinne Carpino with Korinne Carpino Art, and next in our Learn With Me series, we're going to learn to work on ceramic tile paper. And we're going to create an abstract flower garden on this remarkable substrate. So here's the flower garden that we're going to paint today. So let's take a look at our ceramic tile paper. There's definitely a wrong side and a right side. And the right side of this paper has this beautiful pearl sheen. And that's the side we're going to paint on. So I taped my paper down to a backing board with just painter's tape, just to keep it nice and flat while we work today. The next thing I'm going to do as we prepare to put the background down on this painting is I'm going to use wax paper. I'm just crumpling it up into balls, and I'm actually going to use this to move the inks around on the paper to create a nice textured effect. Let's add some Valencia to our paper, and then we'll add some dandelion. The next color to put down is Ranger Citrus. And just thinking about where I want those colors. And I'm going to put some Ranger Bottle right up on through this paper. And I'm going to finish off with Ranger Raspberry. So with a gloved hand, I'm going to just take this crinkled up wax paper and just start to spread the inks around the page, filling the page with the different color inks. Swap out that piece of wax paper as it gets dirty so we don't create mud in the background, and just gently move that wax paper through those colors and create a nice mottled background effect. Next, I'm going to take a toothbrush and just splatter the back of this painting to give it some texture. Let's break up that large area with some small dots of ink. Then we're going to take a blending pen and look, I can take that ink right off the paper, right back to white. Isn't that amazing? And let's just sketch in our flower. And the first one, as you can see, is I've decided to do a daisy. Now you can see I've sketched all my other flowers in, and I'm going to take a Fantastic and we'll clean out the petals with the Fantastic. And we're just lifting the ink up, wipe the tip of the Fantastic on a paper towel to clean it off, and we can clean the inks off of these flowers right back to white. And we'll do this on all of our flowers. Using a Q-tip if we need to clean out the last bits of ink there. So now once I get that all cleaned out and I'm reshaping a little bit with my blending pen, we'll take some dandelion ink and just come in and add a little bit of color to those flowers. This is our base color. We'll be breaking this up in a little bit, but we'll just add this base color to each flower. Next, we're going to want to be adding some shading to those daisy petals. And for that, we're going to use Cool Peri, which is a very light purple color. And we'll add this to the edges of those petals so that we can put some coloring in there that will allow us to create shadows. Now, with a little bit of sepia ink, we will accent the centers of those petals and create some texture with our brush. Now coming in with the Fantastics that's wet with a little bit of alcohol, we'll clean up those petals a little bit. So what you want to do is blend that background color right in. So the flower does appear white, but the breaking up the color like this, it creates more of a shaded effect on the petal. And I'm going to get a little bit closer so you can see. So we're just dabbing the Fantastics into that ink just to break it up and create the shadows in those petals. Coming back now and adding a little bit more of that cool peri to the edges of those petals just to create more of a pronounced shadow um, in those petals. Okay, let's take our brush and add a little bit more of the cool peri, go back in with the Fantastics and just blend those colors together. Really starting at the outer edges of those petals and working my way in. Now using the blending pen, we'll just create some definition to the front petals in this one flower in the bottom and add a little bit of that cool peri in to create those shadows. The next thing to do is work on our poppies, and for that we're going to use crimson ink and eggplant. And we'll put some eggplant in the center of these flowers just to darken where the center is going to go, and then take some crimson ink and put it around the outside of those flowers. And mix it in with the yellow there to create the petals. And we'll continue to do this for all of the poppies. You will see me turn the paper on its side. I'm using gravity to help move the ink in those areas. And we'll continue now to do the other poppies. And let me just get a little bit closer for you. So add the ink with your brush and just move it around to create the shape of those flower petals. Okay, now let's finish the rest of those poppies. Okay, time to clean out the center of those poppies so that we can paint the centers in. And let's come in with some dandelion ink and just paint some centers. Okay, now it's time to come back in with the blending pen. Adding a little bit of highlights here and there on the poppies. And let's just put in our stems from our flowers. By using the blending pen, we can pull the ink off the paper. Just clean the tip of the blending pen on paper towel. And the reason we're doing this and cleaning the ink off the paper with the blending pen is so that when we add our greens, they will not be muddied by the colors that are underneath. And the first color I'm going to add is Ranger Bottle. Let's cover all of those stems and grass areas with Bottle first. And I'm staying fairly loose. This is just a fun little fantasy garden, so we're not going to have a lot of details in these grasses, just staying loose. And now coming back in with some Botanical and just adding some dimension, some depth to those grasses. And then once we get those grasses in and we're happy with that, our painting is done. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson on how to paint on ceramic tile paper. The color is just unbelievable in this, and I encourage you to try it. I'll make a note below as to how you can order the ceramic tile paper. And if you enjoyed today's little lesson, I would really appreciate it if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel. So until next time, happy inking!